Hey everyone, Nettie Owens here today with Jim Ries from Offutt Kerman, and I'm excited to continue our conversation of what every business needs to know right now. Today's is going to be highly relevant to anyone, no matter where you are in your business, because we're going to be talking about taking your networking conversations online. So let me introduce you first to Jim so you understand who you're getting to interact with today. Jim is the Director of Business Development at Offutt Kerman. They're a full-service law firm serving the legal needs of small and mid-sized, privately held, owner-managed businesses with 230 attorneys in 14 offices from Charlotte to Charlotte to New York City, with a heavy concentration in Maryland, D.C., Northern Virginia. Jim has access to a deep network of attorneys in every practice area, and he connects business owners to the right attorney who can resolve their legal disputes and protect their assets. And I've been on the receiving end of that, and it's an amazing network. Jim's also a master networker, which is why he's here with us today, and he prides himself on being able to make meaningful connections no matter the platform. And I absolutely love what you say here, which is let Jim be your Google. So we're going to learn how that works. Jim, welcome.
Thank you, Nettie. Good to see you. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, I'm so glad to be able to continue to network, even though we're now in 2 different states. That hasn't slowed things down at all. And so let's just dive into that. We're all moving to be in a more virtual environment, and that doesn't seem to be ending in the near future. There's a few coffee dates that might be popping up here and there, but for the most part, we're still talking virtually. Why do we need to network virtually?
Well, people still want to connect. And virtual networking gives us the opportunity to connect and continue to build relationships. Webinars have replaced seminars. Zoom meetings have replaced networking events. And phone calls have replaced coffee meetings. We all miss the in-person networking, but there's no sense complaining about it. We must really embrace what we have. And we got to play the hand that we've been dealt. So remember, this is a marathon, not a sprint. This is going to take some time, but don't complain about where we are with this virtual networking stuff.
Yeah.
Embrace it, figure out how to work it in with what you do.
And you really have embraced it and worked it. I think you're really working that hat. Fantastic.
Yeah, the hat is, that's my iconic look now.
I love that. Did you wear it when you were in person, or is it just a virtual?
No, this is just, I wore it on a virtual networking meeting one time, and it has stuck since then for about 4 months.
I love that. So you've really become a master at virtual networking, which is no surprise. You're a master at networking in general. Is there a particular format that you found to be really effective?
Well, I like most people, like to combine a business development aspect, a networking aspect, and an educational aspect of a virtual networking event. So those are the events that I prefer. I've actually got a couple of my own that I've launched since the pandemic, and they seem to be pretty popular, but it really needs to include those 3 elements.
So is there any part that you can leverage as far as social media to help with your networking? Is it where you find people to network with? Is it where you continue conversations? How do you bring that aspect into it?
Well, here's what I say. I say, don't social distance from social networking and social media. You need to be active on social media, especially for me. And if you have a B2B business, LinkedIn is the best platform where you really need to be active. Don't be what we call a lurker. A lurker is someone who goes on LinkedIn and reads stuff and might click like here or there, but that's not really being engaged. You really need to share your own relevant content. You need to add comments to people when they post stuff that's meaningful to you. Share content that's meaningful to you and to your network. So don't be a lurker. Get involved. Social media is fine. People buy from people they know, like, and trust. And by using social media, you can get to the know and the like part. But to get to the trust, you really need, that's where you need to go deeper. And after you connect on social media via, let's say, LinkedIn, for example, then it's time to maybe schedule a phone call or a Zoom meeting and really start building the trust and try to cultivate the relationship. Because you can't just do that, with these quick interactions on social media. So use it to accomplish the know and the like, and then trust is achieved after cultivating the relationship. And remember, this is a marathon, not a sprint.
You might have mentioned that before.
I did, and I will continue to mention that. That is right.
And I also love what you said. I see a lot of people who are so eager right now to jump onto social media, especially LinkedIn. They know we're doing business on LinkedIn. Other people are using that platform. And so they, instead of that marathon, they're thinking of it as a sprint. They jump in immediately. Can I get on the phone with you? This is what I offer. And they're kind of forgetting that part that you naturally have in a face-to-face interaction where you say, hi. Hi, I'm Nettie. Hi, I'm Jim. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, what's going on?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So don't be a lurker, but also don't be that guy that, that jumps right in and doesn't build the relationship.
Correct.
Excellent. So say we've got our first invitation to go to a virtual event, a virtual networking event. How do you navigate this? I mean, it's certainly a different world than walking into a meeting with hors d'oeuvres and a speaker and things like that. What do you do? How do you navigate?
Well, it's very much like in-person networking. So the first thing you do is arrive early and meet the host and the presenter. Get to know them, familiarize yourself with them, and get there before everybody else. Understand who the audience is going to be. So think about if this is a membership organization or a chamber of commerce, think about who is going to be in that audience and be ready to introduce yourself in a meaningful way to the audience. Again, don't be a lurker, be an active participant and provide some meaningful commentary. Go in with a story, ask people, how they're doing during the pandemic, but share a good story. Connect with the attendees on LinkedIn with a personal message after you've met them. And then maybe invite them for a phone call or a video chat. Focus on them. When you go to these events, focus on them, not on you. Be interested, not interesting. Be curious, ask questions. And then when they say, well, tell me about you, then they've given you permission to tell you all about yourself and your business. Most importantly, remember to follow up. Otherwise, you are wasting your time. So follow up with the people you meet. Don't go in expecting to meet 30 people. Go in expecting to walk away with 3 good potential follow-ups. That's my magic number.
Excellent. And your magic has really worked well. I mean, to be able to call yourself the Google of networking, like that doesn't come without having cultivated this kind of a process that really allows you to meet, know, build that know, like, and trust factor with folks. And it seems pretty clear, everything that you're sharing, it's something that you could do even when we do move back into that live format where we're actually in the same room as someone. These are just great best practices, which I love. I love that. It's kind of demystifying this idea that being virtual is somehow different. It's a different technology, but that's it. That's the only part that's really different. And such great ideas of showing up early, meeting the host, preparing for who you're going to meet there. Not just kind of whirling in. You wouldn't do that in a live meeting because you'd have the time where you are preparing to go, getting dressed, and you'd have, thinking about who you're going to meet there and then driving to it and considering what you might share. So sounds like allowing for that time virtually is an important thing to remember. So Jim, if folks want to reach out to you and ask you more questions, talk to you about Offutt Kerman, what should they do?
Well, they can reach out to me via email at jreese@offuttkerman.com or phone at 410-733-6133. I welcome emails. I welcome phone calls on my cell phone. Appreciate all your time. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for being here.